Your boy is back, y'all. Yeah, I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button right over there. Like the video. And there's that Cash App. It's right here. Dude, I'm proud to take all donations. And I messed up on this video late last night. So it's the same title. And I will start the show, but the Coddling of American Minds, and I put colleges because this been going on for a long time. And tell me how y'all like the shirt. Proud supporter of the Black Mental Health Task Force. So go over there and support the task force. Sometime y'all might see me in one of the meetings over there. But in the meanwhile, the Coddling of American Minds, man. All of this catastrophizing fear and microaggression type of things that have been going on. It seemed like it was going on longer than that. See, 18 years, coming up on 19 years. And even before I even arrived into the mental health field, I was already seeing tests presented in a flamboyant type of way with repeated ways of answering questions. So, let's just start it off like this to give you an idea of where I'm coming from. Okay? And I'm going to do this, and I want to play this first. Here it is. All right? So, this is going to be a trip.
The industry. Years, many colleges went mad. They charge students big bucks and then make them feel guilty. This is what happened to Lucy Cross Williams at Stanford.
I was anxious. I felt guilty constantly. I couldn't stop thinking about the whole white privilege thing.
Kim Katiti attended the Art Institutes of California.
I feel like I lost my life for like 6 years.
This new documentary, The Coddling of the American Mind, argues that today more young people are anxious and depressed because adults at their schools brainwash them.
I was full of self-confidence when I was 18, but while I was in college, that disintegrated.
Kimmy was taught she was a victim.
I was introduced to ideas such as microaggressions.
Have you heard or even said any of these common microaggressions? Wow, you're so articulate. Can I touch your hair?
I began to see myself through the lens of Black and a woman. If I see someone...
So ain't that something? So do y'all see that so far? And feel free to go over there and check out John's thoughts on victimhood, the coddling of American minds. So I'm gonna come back to that part right there. I mean, like, wow. Those was a few examples of a few college students. Now, if they're experiencing, imagine all the other thousands and thousands of them experiencing this throughout our country. So what I'm going to do right now is I found this other video, man, and I'm going to play this one because, as I said, the color of the American mind. Now we're going to check out this brother. This is a real good. Should probably fair use on all of this because, man, this is going to be a trip. Here we go.
"20 or 50 or even 100 years ago, if you asked someone which of the world's countries was the most diverse, most equitable, and most inclusive, they would have almost certainly answered the United States. Not anymore. What changed? Well, nothing, and everything. Nothing in the sense that America is still the opportunity-rich place it's always been. And everything because the progressive left has hijacked those three words, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and turned them into weapons of mass destruction. This DEI trio makes up the neutron bomb that has laid waste to a good part of our educational and corporate institutions. Given the
So that's what I'm talking about. Have you noticed, have it been laying waste? And right in our institutions, our trainings, our tests, our catastrophizing, we see the body language, the different clicks, right in the workforce, and in most of this is man has a lot to do with like gender also. And so it's gender identity politics, gender identities, everything, because the coddling of emotions and feelings, because emotion is feelings, and I like to look at it. Motion is moving, like something that we have in recovery is that I call what I found when I was recovering, that I corrupted my emotional natures. The corrupted side of that is the second part of step one, if you're an Alcoholics Anonymous. So now, physically and mentally, everyone's being attacked with the way they're coming at this. So I think they did some research, and then they put a label on it called microaggressions. Well, it's aggression. Aggression is like, dude, to me, that sounds like you're saying microaggressive. So they really should name it that, because to me, when I was hit with one of them flagrant fouls, hey, I just had to put it down like the way I see it. One of them flagrant fouls, the only way I found my way of getting out that is telling the truth. I was not meaning it in that way. What I'm basically is saying, now you see how I'm sounding like a riddle? Here's the example. Being in a town hall meeting, everybody talk about trauma. Being an individual that grew up where? In South Central. So I said, well, I believe everything that we have went beyond trauma. We have numbed ourselves to things that other common folks may not be numbed with when it comes to a car accident, catastrophe, not having the police show up on time, not having it, always having an investigation as if been gang violence or something first other than trauma. So that's what I'm talking about. So we've been really big into this show right now.
damage that has been done, it might be a good idea to see what these words used to mean and what they mean now. Diversity used to mean that people of different backgrounds were free to join a group or association. Equity used to mean enforcing equal standards for all individuals in groups. Inclusion used to mean allowing people of every background and identity to participate in a group or association. Now, in their DEI context, these words all mean one thing: applying unequal standards to ensure preferential outcomes for individuals and groups based on race, sex, and gender identity.
Did y'all see that? In groups based on race, sex, and identity. Golly. So this is where a lot of people got the standards of identity politics. Look, that's where they got it from. And then it's used to help out just that, based on race, catastrophizing that so as soon as I leave here, mentally I have to be prepared for racism at all costs. But like, hey, like I said in the beginning, the majority of individuals that's using common sense, we really got like just real tired of it, numb to it. We already know soon. Look at the way I look. Golf hat, this. Could walk right into Macy's with $1,000 in my pocket, $500 in my pocket, really shopping. And now all of a sudden everybody wants to help me out. Not even shopping for something big. And then when I go to J.C. Penney's, because that's where I used to have my card at. Yeah, I'm sure I'm really shopping. But now you want to go in another store, or you may be thinking about that boulevard, and you're on a budget, and you're feeling tempted. You see one you like, but now you want two. So, and I dare not go to places like jewelry stores. And then you got these other stores that you would go. While at the time they falling on you, the real thieves in the store don't even look like me. So then you talk about being overlooked on promotions. Oh, yeah. You have to follow the script. You got to be a part of a particular group or clique. So I know a lot of y'all going to write something like that in the chat, but let's keep going on so we can listen to some more of this video.
Entity. The DEI movement is not about a sincere desire to make educational or corporate institutions more diverse, more equitable, or more inclusive. If you don't believe me, try having an open discussion on your company message board or at your next DEI seminar about why the same standards should apply to everyone, everywhere, regardless of race, sex, or gender identity. Try that and you know what will happen. You'll be shouted down, shunned, reprimanded, and maybe fired. DEI is ultimately about only one thing: advancing those who are not white, heterosexual, and male at the expense of white, heterosexual men, regardless of their respective qualifications.
So,
if you say, well, that's fine, because white, heterosexual men had too many advantages for too long, then I would aid DEI administrators at every Fortune 100 company, college, and university, and
so they give you an idea where that video is going. So feel free to go over there and check out that video, and then you'll see. This is the reason why the left was really upset about the NPO, the nonprofit government sector, because with DEI, they reap a lot of benefits. Getting an administrator, paying them 6 figures to be the DEI administrator of this brand new from out of nowhere, inclusionary, equity, diversity training job, just made up from out of the blue. Because 18 years being in the mental health, coming up on 19th sector, and 26 years of recovery, I was just seeing these changes. Like, especially a substance abuse counselor, they got harm reduction. Now it's like, hey, you go outside downtown to Skid Row, San Francisco, Oakland, hey, people is hitting right there, maybe around the corner. Like, as soon as I start going to certain places, like even towards my job, person was just hitting the pipe right there on the corner. Back in the day, that used to be a ticket, you were arrested or something, especially if you're not funky. And you would go in for like a weekend. And man, so let's get to this next video and let's get back to the beginning of where the coddling of American minds is affecting individuals and the school places. And that's the part that's tripped me out the most. And here it is, the one on victimhood. Check this out. This is the one we was watching earlier.
They must stop giving conservatives this free
Oh boy.
gold Trump survivor coin.
Starting this month, the 1776
Someone like coming up with their dog, for example, and a woman. If I see someone like coming up with their dog, for example, and the dog's barking at me, I could interpret that as a racist microaggression on the part of both the dog and the dog walker. And I was like, the world's a lot darker than I thought it was. In order to kind of compete and get the best grades, I sort of showed how much of a victim I was in order to impress my professors.
She thought that was wrong, but she didn't push back.
I thought, I'm paying a lot, so they're definitely teaching me like the golden rules for life.
See, so it's more like they being so it's more like it's brainwashing type of things going on, and then they want to do it live. Tailoring out tests that we know against our own God-given will and our religious belief that these are not the correct answers. But in order to keep this job, we got to go with the status quo. So I just wanted to show a little bit of that. Them videos right there, because I did say I was bringing it back. And the other one was from the Teaching Victimhood was from John Stossel. The other one was from PragerU, and that one got 22.3 million views. And then we finna go right back to the other John Stossel one, because y'all have to see this one. This is a DEI training, and we're gonna see what he was talking about right here. Do y'all see it? The full Eric Smith, a diversity trainer, speaks out against DEI.
Doesn't it get the results they want?
Well, it might be getting the results they want. Depends on who you mean by they.
Why doesn't it bring racial harmony to the office?
Because diversity, equity, and inclusion, those words don't mean what most people think they mean. Diversity is diversity of bodies, of skin color, ethnicity, not of thought. You know, you can have many different bodies, but they have to be, basically on the same page ideologically. That page is often something akin to critical social justice.
And then this is what I noticed, like on the left, critical social justices. So in order to keep a lot of us right in line, because y'all saw what happened during the last election. This is where the benefit of identity politics play a real big hand. And then you dare not go against everything that came on the news last night at the workplace, because then it'd be another triple and ripple right at the workplace, the office, the lunchroom, McDonald's, Popeye's Chicken, grocery stores. And then we start distancing ourselves from individuals we were once really getting along with, because our ideals are not all clicking the same.
Inclusion means, well, you can't make people uncomfortable. And in a world of microaggressions, that's easy to do. So now inclusion means I'm going to silence myself and not talk to the black people, right? And equity, as most people know, does not mean equality. It means equality of outcome, right? We have to make sure everybody ends up at the same place, no matter how they got there, which is why we get rid of aptitude tests, which is why we get rid of AP classes, which is why we have equitable math and things like that. That's equity.
Yeah, like what is aptitude test? And now the equity math thing did trip me out. Because when my son was in school, it was
Because there were too many.
It was more like he had days where him and some of his classmates finished, but they had to wait for everybody else to catch up. So that can be confused as why all of them didn't finish and start doing the scrapful things as kids that are problematic or may have ADHD or impulsive or some other diagnosis. And so let's keep keep it moving.
Asians and whites in the AP class.
Apparently, or not enough black people. And that's interesting. It's easy to say people are doing this out of resentment, right? But some people may be doing this out of love. You know, is it hate for white people or love for black people? You know, and what's motivating them? Now, yes, they're still misguided, but they see this as, well, the ends justify the means, and the ends are racial equality and black dignity, so I'm going to do what I have to do.
Wow.
This isn't just a trailer, it's your food business,
So
fully
the
loaded
thing
and
of
ready
it
to go.
is that
Everything
this
you need to start serving from day
never
one.
benefited black men.
With our Rent to Own program, it's not a loan.
But it's real. We whites have most of the power. Most.
Do you hear that? So it lets me know. Let's go right here. The discussion has went insane.
Well, it is.
Are they crazy? This just isn't even logical discussion. Has academia gone insane?
Yes. That's the short answer. Yes, it has gone insane. But it's not logic, because you need logic. You need reason to build things, right? They want to tear things down. The last thing you want is logic and reason when you want to tear things down. That will slow down the process, if anything.
But there has been stuff that ought to be torn down, right? There has been white supremacy and white control.
Right. There has been all that stuff, and it has been dealt with and is being dealt with in several ways. Unfortunately, yes, a lot of what's going on in my field is more idealist than.
Yeah, because it is being dealt with, but the way it's presented, when you get all of these, I ain't gonna say they oligarch, these agents, these race hustlers, these victimhood hustlers, it's always pinpointed, because so far on the news, we just see blacks killing blacks, whites killing whites, agents killing agents. We deal with these things in our own community. So I want y'all to listen to a little bit more of this.
And realist. And what I mean by that is, it's easier to change the name of a bridge. It's easier to tell somebody to check their privilege than it is to actually change things institutionally. So they perform this activism and call that progress, right?
Do y'all hear that? Check your privilege. Because if you check your privilege while you're in the meetings with these liberals, you know that bing, the halo is over their head, and I'm checking my privilege. I really, and then after you done stated some logical response to what's being discussed in the meeting, they empathize with me. Like when I said about trauma, that we have became numb in South Central and Watts. So when we hear like gunshots, when we was like at 13 years old and 14 years old, we used to jump and drop. Now they got to the place we look around and try to see which way it's coming from. And then we scatter. So let's get back to the rest of the show, and I'll wrap it up.
When in reality, it's really just theater.
What is progress?
It's just theater.
Progress is reform, in my opinion.
Meaning what?
And well, you have a conversation, you look at policies, right? You talk about the pros and cons of these policies, the worthiness and unworthiness of them, as classical rhetoricians may say, right? And you act accordingly. You deliberate.
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to happen. People think in academia, and this is my take on things based on research and things like that, I think people have come so far, the country has come so far that, talking about, racism, oppression, and things like that, is losing power. We had a black president for 2 terms. The biggest rising immigrant class is from West Africa. Things are getting better. They're losing that leverage. So they have to.
Victimhood leverage?
Yes, yes. So now they have to really ramp it up.
All white people are racist. I really want any white person in the room to know up front that this is what we're dealing with, that it's not going to be this coddling of white tears and what that looks like. We're not going to discuss, oh, maybe some of us have worked it out. No, you're always going to be racist.
Now, is that facts or fiction? And then we have to look at the other problem, the obesity problem. Come on. Look at who's presenting this. Now, in the normal state, most of the people that shows I be on, you can automatically see that this has, to me, I don't know if this is going to be a microaggression. I automatically, when I see someone that's looking like her, I already think maybe Black Lives Matter, some woke stuff going on. This is a diversity, equity person at a job site trying to explain to individuals. And then they do this in the room of the individuals. As is this something that we all voted for in our community, that we equally is on the same page for this thing? So this is how it has got way out of hand. Let's listen to the rest of this.
Actually, I believe that white people are born into not being human.
This is extreme, I take it.
It is extreme, but it's becoming more of the norm and less of an aberration in my field anyway, as far as the people who you hear.
And let's broaden the...
Have you ever wondered how buying Israeli goods helps Israel during turbulent times?
Beyond the field of rhetoric to the whole world here, because what undergraduates are listening to women like this. And I don't know what a student comes away with from that.
Well, I mean, the problem there is that many students are getting one take. The professors or their student leaders, what have you, they're not saying this is one way of looking at things. They're saying this is the way. Anybody opposed to this is opposed to equality. They're opposed to diversity and equity and inclusion, right? And by opposed, I mean anybody who's asking questions, right? Anybody who wants clarification. I was once told that by asking somebody to elaborate, I was trying to silence her.
By asking her to elaborate?
Yes.
Well, as a white person in that class, I would just shut up and figure I have no right to express doubt.
Yeah, about a year back.
Wow. So, this is an interesting conversation, so feel free to go over there and check out the rest of this. I mean, like, dang. Because I be in the room where we get questioned with whatever new policies that's rolling. Like we have a policy out here in our state, Proposition 1. I remember a long time ago, right before I got sober, right after I got became sober 26 years ago, then it came out with Proposition 36, which was the drug diversion program right in California. But I became sober like 9 months before it even came out, but still I was managed to get on through because the judge just seen my paperwork, man. It was stacked up. Like, every page he went on, like, wow, man. drinking. Oh, smoking crack. Oh, not paying for that, man. You gonna have to give me a program. You're gonna give me either a year in jail. Give me a six-month program. And then I was looking at it. It looked like he was thinking of 9 months too. But then he must say, "You look like, dude. You're not a bad guy. Folks want you to get sober." And then if he only would have known, the judge didn't know. Everybody in between Florence and Slauson down Figueroa wanted me to get sober because shit. they had to make sure I wasn't ducking and dodging across the street, going to get that bottle or that night train or that Cisco or that something. So, woo, that's too much work. Okay, so I'm gonna end it like about right here. Come back. People's up here saying they love them food stamp. Maybe I might see what's up with the food stamp update, SSI update, and I don't know if I'm going to Florida, man. I kind of like want my son to go to Florida now. See, I have enough to buy my plane ticket for next week. But it'd be fun if he can go because that's like having a backup camera guy. And plus we get to go swimming or find some other things to do. But other than that, check out those 3 videos that I brought up there. And if you see some more, just send them my way. And I am out. And remember, recovery is an inside job.